Indonesia?
Yes.
You say Indonesia?
Indonesia.
4 million people dead?
Yep.
When dead?
During World War II.
No, I read a lot of material about Indonesia history. No, I never seen that. Japanese military
Yes.
trained a lot of Indonesian soldiers at that time with scam.
Okay, well,
Japanese military
I
lot of investment for Indonesian soldiers for their independence.
not lots, only a little.
No. Big investment, Japanese. Indonesia is very exception. Korea is no war. Indochina is no battle.
Yeah, well,
China
I'm still a
is
little bit
killed more
surprised
than
that
that. China
the
might
lowest
be killed more than
estimates
6 million.
Right. But the lowest estimates here are that 6 million people died, so I don't think.
Yeah, that is true.
nobody-
Because China actually
no, but
waging war against Japan. That's right. And Japanese killed a lot of civilians in China. Like no battle zone, it's Beijing to Manchuria. Lot of people, Japanese soldiers, killed them.
mm,
And at least more than 6 million. I know that. This is true.
where are the numbers?
Philippines is killed by not only Japanese soldiers, American bombing a lot. Burma, Pacific Island, yeah, might be 57,000. Actually, the whole island battle America and Japan. Burma, 60,000.
The sentiment here, the sentiment changed, however, as between 4 and 10 million Indonesians were taken away from Indonesia as forced laborers, Romsha, for Japanese military projects, including Burma-Siam Railway. 4 million people died in Indonesia as a result of famine and forced labor during the Japanese occupation,
Really?
including 30,000 Europeans.
You mean they moved to the Indochina, or they moved to
Yes.
Malay
Yeah.
for labor,
Yes.
and they killed 4 million.
Yes. They died, as a result of famine and forced labor.
4 million?
Yes.
Is railways?
Yes.
No kidding. Railways total number of Asian people is not more than 300,000.
It was.
Not more than 3,000. This is strange. Not
Between
4
4
million.
and 10 million Indonesians were taken away from Indonesia as forced laborers, Romsha, from Japanese military projects.
No, something wrong. Not so many. Something mistaken. 40,000. 40,000 might be Indonesia to Malay for railway construction. Totally,
4 million
totally Asian people killed not more than 10,000. British people killed couple thousand, including Australia and Netherlands.
No, there's much more. It's much more.
No,
I
no,
mean,
no,
4
no,
million
no,
also
not
sounds
many,
like
not
a lot
many.
to me. But
In total, British, POW is 70,000 in Singapore. Not all of them moved into Malay. So I don't know those figures accuracy. At least two data is wrong. Is Indochina, Korea is not
so
accurate.
okay, so I got this as a source from Japanese occupation of the Dutch East Indies.
Why in Indochina they said 500,000 civilian killed? And while World War II, they have no battle. Korea is no battle.
No, I think they fought in the Japanese army, kind
No. Japanese
They didn't.
army Indochina just only passing through. Because that government is very cooperative for Japanese military. So no battle.
So here it says that Korea was a Japanese colony. They had
No,
24 million people
no,
at the
don't
time.
misunderstand. Not colony. At that time, Korean people, they had Japanese passport.
There?
Yeah,
And?
yeah,
And?
yeah. The same,
And? What?
yeah,
What's
same
the
country.
point?
But after
Come
World War
on.
II, Korean tried to. They are.
And that is your definition of not being a colony?
No.
Of course, that's a colony.
Not
Come on.
like India. Japanese government tried to treat the same as Japanese, so Korean.
But that's a colony, Bishop. This was an autonomous country. It was occupied by Japan.
Yes, that's right. But
Yes,
exactly, yes. But they try to Korean as same right as Japanese citizen. Korean people joined Japanese soldiers, and exactly the same treatment. But terrible treatment. If you're going to study Korean history, Japanese government terribly treatment 1910 to 1930, not after 1930. They drastically changed their strategy, how to manage Korean people.
I think these numbers were from 39 to 45, actually.
What they did? 8,000 people killed.
Well, it says here that Korea was a Japanese colony at the time, and they were included with the Japanese military, and the number of people who died.
No. In Korea, okay. Don't misunderstand. In Korea, no Japanese soldiers there. Police officers there, but no soldiers there in Korea. The same as Japanese domestic territory, no soldiers. All soldiers go outside.
It doesn't mean that they were killed in Korea. It meant that what it means is that they were they had a nationality of Korean.
You mean like Japanese immigrated to Manchuria, and many Koreans immigrated in Manchuria. At that time, Russia invaded, many people killed. We don't know how many people killed, but 500,000 people killed at that time, civilians. And Russian people.
Were 500,000. Yeah, exactly.
Russian people invading to Manchuria. Of course, at that time, many Koreans there. We don't know that how many Japanese, how many Koreans, but many people.
So it is 500,000 civilians there. So that's what it says here.
Yeah, more than that. Manchuria. The Russian troops killed the Japanese.
Korea is 500,000.
And Indochina is 500,000. Why they are killed? Indochina. While World War II, they have no battle.
Why the civilians were killed?
Yeah. No battle in Indochina. But also, you just write it down, POW, 30,000? Who are they?
Civilians that were killed. I mean, I did not read exactly why they were killed. These are the numbers.
No war. And additionally, I'm just skeptical about Chinese POW soldiers. No, Japanese soldiers kill them all.
I don't think that this actually this was not intended to be. This was intended to be to give a broad outline of the relative small number of people that were killed. For example, from the Netherlands and from Britain and British colonies and US and Australians, versus the number of civilian casualties. So my question here is basically, did Japan try to colonialize and conquer these countries, or were they liberating these countries? Looking at these very high numbers.
No, Ed, I just several figures I don't understand. And another POW question is like...
Because I mean, it's not the point. It's not the point of this discussion. The point of this discussion is if we look at the total number, I think that there is a suspiciously high number of civilian casualties in order to be able to say, well, we were just there to liberate these countries from the Western colonies.
Oh, by the way, I try to pick up one by one, but some figures is not correct. So that's the reason why I don't believe total figure.
No,
like France, okay, I tell you, France.
Okay, this is not the point. I mean, I don't even feel it's worthwhile to discuss these individual numbers. I just want to, I got this overview to show that basically there is a very large number of civilians who died, relative to the military deaths.
No, my question is some of figures is not right.
So, but anyway,
I can't believe total bottom line. I can't believe it. Like you said, French POW, 14,000. French? What French? No battle against Japanese military.
No, they were prisoners of war. They were captured. They were
no prisoners. French people. French, no prisoners. Japanese military didn't wage war against French.
Who were in Indochina then?
Indochina is the Japanese allies. Italy and France and Germany is allies with Hitler. No battle against them. No French POW.
They were prisoners of war. They died in captivity.
No French POW. This figure might be after war.
No.
World War II, no French POW. We didn't wage war against France. So, what I'm saying is the sum of figures is not accurate.
Anyway, I don't think that this is always the discussion, like talking about the individual numbers and not talking about the bigger picture. I think this is part of the reason why discussions about history are so difficult, because it's not the point. It's not the point of discussion here. The point of discussion is to look at the general point. I mean, even these numbers in itself, of course, they're highly arbitrary. If we see that there are estimates that are 3 times larger than the numbers in this overview. So I don't think it's about these individual numbers. It's more about the general perception as to what actually was driving countries to go to war, and so that was basically my point of raising these numbers. I think that the general number of casualties among civilians is an indication that perhaps Japan was not aiming to liberate these countries, but was trying to colonialize them, as Western countries have been doing for centuries.
But each figure is not accurate, so we can't say anything at all.
Okay. If this way you want to stick your discussion, that's fine.
No. I think what you wanted to say, all figures is very vague. We don't know nothing at all. But Japanese invaded Asia. Yes, right.
Right, but we were talking about the objectives. What were the underlying motives?
But I wrote a couple books, especially for Asian War, and I read many articles in English, so I know very detailed by country, you know. So I just Japanese invaded Asia Pacific, but how to manage those countries is different. And some generals terribly bad, Japanese generals. like Tsuji Masanobu killed many people, Philippine soldiers and Philippine generals, and Singapore Chinese. He killed, ordered to kill.
Why? If they were going to actually liberate these countries from
Philippines, the POW
the
27,000. Yes, maybe they killed those people. And I tell you,
But why?
Japanese military never accept POW. Only accept Netherlands, Britain, and Australia.
But POW, no, we're talking about civilians. That's my point. POW is POW. That's a different discussion. I'm talking about civilians. Why so many civilians died?
Not so many. I very part of those people, but we don't know accurate figures. What is supposed to be?
No, exactly. But
so far, I tell you. At least I surveyed very much detail about China. They killed at least 6 million civilians.
But why?
Why? Chiang Kai-shek told 6 million. This is these small figures. He compared with Mao Zedong, the other people's announcement of the civilian killed.
Yeah, okay, but if Japan...
Why they saw 6 million?
Asia.
This is very reasonable. Japanese headquarters ordered no military zone prepared from Beijing to Manchuria. Very wide area. It means they try to eliminate any farmers. It means they kill them all. Only that big area, at least 3 million they killed. Also, they invade to going down to south.
Take that one step further. Then, what does it say about the motives to actually go to war? Because was it liberation or was it occupation?
No. China is different. Invasion. Invaded. Japanese military invaded. They tried to kill them all. Terrible battle against China. But China is a very strong power, so they are not be defeated. But Japanese killed many people, not only civilian but soldiers. Indochina is different. They are not intentional invasion. But some is invaded. Is some generals terribly wrong, like Mutaguchi. He tried to invade Impal. That this guy is a terrible guy, and Tsuji Masanobu is a terrible general. Majority of people are very calm and not like a severe person. Cruelty, not like that. Okay. So figure is not accurate. I understand. And I know the very much detail about those figures.
Yeah, okay, but actually, so I'm not so much interested about the detail. I'm more interested about the reasons why and how it actually is reflected in the casualties and the number of people who actually died under these in this period. So the regular civilians. I have difficulty understanding how you could actually claim to be liberating Asia and then make so many casualties.
Edo, I know, like, for example, Philippines. Have a battle against Philippines. I know very well. And civilian dead more than 100,000. Of course, they had 100,000. They are big, heavy battle against America and Japan. And 2,700 people, POW, killed more. 100,000 killed, Filipino killed. Because of battle, heavy battle in Philippines. Just only for 3 months happened. This is true figures. I think more people dead. Right? But I tell you, Malay, Singapore, they do not battle. They just railway construction is big major concern for killing people. No battle in Malay, in Singapore. And British Army gave up as soon as possible. Japanese military invaded. Burma is no battle. Pacific Island heavy battle. I agree with that. 5,700 dead, of course. Indochina,
So if we look,
Indochina, no battle. Korea, no battle. Indonesia is Sukarno is cooperated with Japanese military. I don't know how million people dead, civilian. I don't know how, why.